Alright guys, today we are doing the fuel lines and a primer ball on a Shindaiwa, what is that, eb240 CE. Alright, I'll put the fuel lines, primer ball, even the carburetor, that's a common Shindaiwa carburetor. I'll put all that in the description below so that you guys can get to it easily. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is take the air filter assembly off, or air filter cover off, I mean. Air filter came right off with it, out of the way. Now, we've got two Allen bolts there. They're like 4 or 5 millimeter Allens. We're going to, oh, I got goobers all over there from the last job. Grease, yay. Take these two out. Then we have a Phillips head right here that we need to take out. Alright, get this out of the way. Pull the carb right off. Pull it right off the carb, whatever. I'm trying not to take these bolts out, because this little arm outlet's flapping around anyways. Awesome. Get out of there. Dear Lord. Right. Out of the way. Alright. If you're going to do the carburetor, you would just turn this like this, and you would slide this cable out of it with like a flathead screwdriver, like that, and just lift it up out of there. I'm not replacing the carb, so I'm going to leave it right in there. I'm going to pull the fuel lines off the bottom of the carburetor. Alright, so we're also going to remove the grommet with the flathead screwdriver. Just pry it up. It's easier with two hands, so I can hold the I gotta hold the machine at the same time usually. There you go. Pull that right off out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and take this gas cap off. Pull it straight out. We're gonna dump and drain all that fuel and clean the tank out. I use air hose to just blow it off. Alright, so we're gonna pull out this line right here. Just pull it right out of the grommet. Cut a point in the new line, stick it through the grommet. So you get about this much into the bottom. Just needs a filter needs to lay on the bottom of the tank. So about that much. And then we're going to take the new filter. We're going to stab it on the bottom of the fuel line. Again, all this will be in the description below. You just click the link. Super cheap on Amazon. I pull the yellow line with the nipple. I don't even need the nipple. I'm pulling the nipple, everything right out. If you want to reuse the nipple, you can. Sometimes you need to. Like if this fuel line won't go in tight into that grommet, you need to reuse it. But I found that it goes in nice and tight into the grommet, and it doesn't need that nipple. So we're going to go ahead, cut this fuel line into a point. Pull it through an inch, a little more, whatever. It doesn't even have to be an inch, it could be that much. Just has to be through. It's nice and tight, you feel it. If it's not nice and tight in there, reuse the nipple, and it'll make it a nice snug fit. And I would go on this end, the longer end. They went on the wrong side of this, honestly. Alright, now we're going to go ahead, put the grommet back in, the fuel filter back in the tank, and then the grommet itself back in, and then we're going to use a flathead screwdriver. Get the back side down in, and then with a flathead screwdriver you'll push around slowly until you get the whole thing in there. Now we're going to go ahead and take the primer ball out and put a new primer ball in. So it's going to be these 4 Phillips head screws. We're going to remove those. Our brand new primer ball down. Grab the old primer ball and just the metal plate. push the old primer ball out. So I'm going to need two hands to do that. It doesn't want to go. Put the new primer ball in. Line the new primer ball up. And put this 4 screws back, 4 bolts back in. Got them started in here. Basically, you're just going to snug them up, corner to corner, opposite corners, and just keep going. Once you got them all snugged up, you just keep going until it's tightened. You just tighten them, until you just keep going cross in a cross pattern until they're all tight. Okay, now we're going to shove the vents line back up in the back there. We need to get this lined up where it would go, so we get an idea of how much fuel line we need. So the black line is the fuel in. So the black line is the filter line. This line right here, closest to the primer ball, is this one that goes to the filter. So we're going to line it up, and then we're going to figure out the length, and then we're going to cut it off and stab it onto that one. Just like that. Make sure that when it's lined up where it goes, that fuel line isn't going to be kinked over or anything. You don't want it to have a kink in it, or it won't be able to pull the fuel. Now we're going to take the yellow line and we're going to put it to this nipple. Cut off the extra and put it on that nipple. Once again, make sure no kinks. Everything lines up properly. Alright, now we're going to take this choke assembly. We're going to have to take this bolt out, and we're going to have to fix this. So this needs to hook back up on to this choke. Like that. Then you got to have this washer goes right inside of there. So you're going to run this up. Oh, it's stuck underneath that. You're going to push this bolt through by going from this side. You're going to line that up. You're going to push the bolt through it. I got to have both hands through that, and then line it up through that. This, line it up through that, and we want to get this all up. I need both hands up onto that and through that hole too. If you pull partial choke on it, you can line that up. Then we're just going to get this over on top like that, and then push the bolt through. Then we're going to push both these bolts through the carburetor, line them up with the intake and get them pushed all the way through to that. Now we're going to go ahead and start tightening them down. Before you tighten it all the way down, you want to move this back and forth and make sure that it's still centered. Give it a little more tighten, make sure that it's still centered, and then tighten it all the way, and it should still move freely. As long as that washer is in that plate like it's supposed to be, it should move freely. If it isn't, loosen this up, wiggle it around, it'll pop into place, and then you'll hear it and feel it, and then you tighten it down. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of gas in this. Give our primer ball a few squeezes, see if we get any prime. It's priming. Not sure that this one's going to run, but I had to try for the guy. If not, I'll just order a carburetor. But you see, even with if it doesn't work, I'll have the carburetor in the description. Very easy for you to do. All right, so put the air filter back on. Put the fuel cap back on. This is flexible. Just bend it, push it in, tighten it down. not running perfect, but this thing is obviously sat for a long time. I think the more that this one gets used, the better it is. So I'll go out and blow off my area with it, and by the end of that, I'll know whether I have to replace the carb or not. But so far, so good. If this worked out for you guys, this helped you in any way, shape, or form, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Today's t-shirt will be in the description below, as well as all the parts that you could possibly use to do this job. If you want to do any advertising through my channel, message me. I'd be more than happy to take on a sponsor. Peace.